But the big thing I don't want to see people do is take on new debt. Oftentimes, your pre-approval is based on what your current debt ratios are. You add a new vehicle, maybe it's only a payment of $250 per month. That might be the difference between qualifying and not qualifying for a house. Plus, it just complicates things. So if you're adding new debt, that's not a good thing. And this would be all the way up through the day of closing. So don't buy a new vehicle. Don't buy furniture for your new house and put it on credit. Don't do any of that type of stuff. And if there's any questions on that, lenders love it when you ask. At least I love it when people ask. It's like, you know what? I need to buy this. I'm using my existing credit card. Okay, not a big deal. I need to buy a new car because it blew up and I need to go to work. It's like, okay, let's rework this because that's an urgent need. So again, that communication.
Yeah.
And also too, don't look too much out of your price range.
Yeah.
Because honestly, more expensive houses look better than cheaper houses.
100%.
So you gotta make sure that you kind of be budgetarily realistic with all of that. So those are the big things I like to see. What about from your standpoint, kind of as you're shopping? Is there a couple things that you want to make sure they do or don't do?
Yeah, there's lots of things. One of the things, I mean, kind of along that same line, I feel like I tell my buyers a lot, like, you need to ask James, or let's talk to James. Let's, because like the other day, somebody's like, hey, I just got an offer for this new job. And we're out looking at a house. I'm like,
oh yes.
Let's talk to James about that, because that may or may not completely destroy your ability for a while to buy a house. And they're like, oh, really? I didn't know that. And so like having those conversations, like the car things, the furniture things, those are always good. One of the things, especially if you're buying houses, new construction houses or newer, like Windsor, Severance, and some in Greeley now, Metro tax is a big deal. A lot of them have Metro tax, and you may say, hey, but I can afford a $600,000 house. Like I saw one over in Windsor the other day. We went and looked at it. It was, it's 550,000. And so they're like, that's a good deal. I'm like, the Metro tax was $9,000 a year.
Ouch.
And I'm like, that is going to substantially change your payment and and maybe even make it so you can't afford that house. Right. And so that's another reason why, keeping that conversation going with you is really, really important.